Alright, welcome to my desktop. I'm just looking at images of my group my division as I evolve it. Wow. So I'll make this quick. Uh, this is the last iteration of the image, the division I was working on from my last video about the evolution of this division. So I'll just go from here and just move upwards. So, oops. All right. So, what changes? I don't think the aquaplure changed at all. It was just the image is just kind of bumping around. So I can ignore that. All I did was increase the Sturm Pioneer, which actually I get rid of and add Flame Warfare Flamers eventually. But I think that was the only change. I think I found I had some surplus probably. Let's see. Okay, so 8th attempt. So I'll go from 7th to 8th. And I add... actually, I remove the wear rungs. And I drop some... yeah, I just dropped the wear rung. And what do I add? I add fighters. I wanted to test fighters out. See if they're worth it. Not. So I dropped it almost immediately. And I added in... yeah, I went from no vet to full vet packs. And added the Nebelwerfer to test. Sucked. Moved quickly on from there. Added some more flak. Kept the flak for a bit. Eventually dropping it. Added IG-18s in A. I went back and forth. I like the IG-18s in Phase A. They're great. They're fast firing. They're awesome. They got enough range. Added, removed a couple of MG squads. Went up veterancy a bit, probably for points. Added a shit ton of infantry. Finally coming around to the you must add infantry to this division. By getting rid of... I eventually go down to one Nashorn. Get rid of the packs in Phase B. And get rid of the 120 millimeter howitzer. Added fighters back in again to test again. Getting rid of eventually. Putting in martyrs instead of the 3 Nashorns. Putting in packs in Phase 3. I really like the heavy packs in Phase 3 to replace any losses in from Phase A. And this is my first variation actually. I don't know why. What was I thinking? I was a variation. What was I thinking? A variation away from bombers or airplanes, really. Yeah, this is me going into, I have no use for airplanes if I'm going heavy artillery. Like, let's specialize in artillery. Let's not goof around with fighters and bombers. Having lots of infantry now. Trying the Spatra. I hate them because you can't... their return fire only thing is really twitchy. It's really annoying. And they suddenly just die. Like, it could be a bug, but they go from full strength to 0, and you're like, but they were just being shot up by MG. It's just way too twitchy. So I like their Jeeps. The only thing that I can get in this division that has machine gun Jeeps that stick around, and I'd like to reboard stuff into it. So, yeah. I goof around with mobile flak, but then I realize I can rehook using supply trucks and other stuff like half tracks. So I eventually got rid of that. But yeah, that probably stuck around for a bit until I realized that, and almost the end of that one. So yeah, I play around with Pioneer Führers, but realized that Baguette Führers have half tracks. So really excited about that. And I realized that right around the same time, obviously, that I can rehook things. So that switch is that's a dramatic change, actually. So, trap and bow bashers. I had the bow bashers very shortly too, because I was, hey, if I'm dropping airplanes and going artillery, let's go artillery support. But it's like bow bashers aren't as useful as I thought, because I found something way cooler I can add to reinforce that in phase B, because anything with a radio can, yeah. I'm not sure if the person with a radio has to spot that thing, or just that, because those radio radiuses, the area effect, on the, when you're looking at it and you see the rings of what can help artillery. And I'm not sure if you need to spot something visually in order to get that bonus, right? So yeah. Anyways, so it kind of evolved back and forth. I liked this one, but yeah, we slowly evolved and got to a point where I was like, okay, this is cool. But then I just, this battle, 10th, and then I went to here and I played this battle. It's a video, and the spat traps were just so buggy. It was just disgusting, so I hated them. But I like their Jeeps, so I'm gonna keep them for phase A. And voila, look at that, a Jeep, and look how many you get and how cheap they are. And they have binoculars and a radio, so it's like bowbackers, BO batchers or whatever. So I'll use the BO batches in the beginning, because I do want to get eyesight on things and have radio and be able to narrow down the stupidity of the 105 millimeter accuracy. And I've got Baguette Führers, which was learned very quickly. Yeah, this is when I assume here. This is when I learned about rehooking. So a lot of things changed. And yeah, and after the battle, I was like, oh yeah, I'm totally didn't like the IG-33 in phase A, and I went back to 18, and I fell in love with the B phase Jeep. Motorcycles. They'll be great. I can sneak them in the recon. I can sneak them in behind and get a sight line on those damn artillery pieces I want to blow up. Well, that's a theory, but it's much better than spot traps. God, useless things. Yeah, I'm liking everything. Just spam artillery basically from way back and just have it accurate and just paste things as soon as they pop their head out. Yeah, I've got lots of supply, loads of supply, and in C, I've got to supply trucks if I need them. But yeah, everything's great. Yeah, I'm really liking the idea of having the half tracks. That's really powerful. And I didn't like Stern Pioneers. I got rid of Stern Pioneers. Back and forth about Stern Pioneers, you know. Phase A, Phase B, and then eventually getting rid of them entirely. It's like I've got flamers and I've got other troops that can do the same thing. So, yeah, no. It's just I'd rather spend the points elsewhere. If I had one more, if I had one more slot, a card I could buy, and I had the points, yeah, I'd go for the Stern Pioneers. But yeah, it's just they're yeah. I mean, like the Flammenwaffers, they can get there really quick, and they're motorcycles in Phase A. And unfortunately, the Stern Pioneers, they're stuck in trucks, which get popped really quick. So it's like, you know, so yeah, definitely look forward to testing this out. Got to go to bed, go to work, but I like the idea of having, one and then three and then double that in Phase C. And then I've got lots of, the Soviets had lots of fighter bombers that were pasting my guys, and I just forgot to seed my entire area with flak. But yeah, if I definitely want to spread my flak out more. The commandant is great, and I take advantage of it completely, especially yeah, they're awesome. It's awesome. And I like the Veteran C2 pack. I just can't like it. I might think of combining these and lowering the veterancy, and then rethinking about, what can I add. But then I'd hardly have any points left, right? So I'd have 2 extra cards, which I could put into Phase C, and then I wouldn't care about points, right? So that's doable. And I can, on 2 cards, that's 4 points. I could add a Phase C airplane and then another infantry, put in the Stern Pioneers in Phase C. If I've lost enough Flamer Waffers, Flamers are useful. So yeah, it's definitely doable. I think I might do that actually, because having this is just a bit silly. All right, so 2, 3. Okay, so I'll have 3. Add. All right, if they really start to suck with that kind of veterancy, then I'll have Fears next to them and Commandants eventually. But yeah. So I've got 4 points. Four activation points, but no real points I could, like, I'm not it's like points neutral exchange there for actually, you know, what I want to do. When I say that, I mean, in phase A, I'll have so many points total to buy things, and at the end of that phase, when phase B starts, I want to have spent most, if not all, of my requisition points by that time, and then at the end of phase B, I want to have gotten all my phase A cards into phase A, and then all my phase B cards into phase B, right? So that's the thinking. And then I can do a phase C Stern Pioneers. Okay then. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, I'm considering Pioneers instead of Schutzen because the Pioneers have grenades, and they're great against infantry at close range. So these are anti-infantry, uh, far distance and close range. So it's useful for sure. I've got the Schutzen for the anti-tank grenades, so yeah, totally right. So that's, I've got one more point, and then I can add, something like. The problem is, I love the fighters that can drop bombs, get in and get out quick. Those are cool. Like air recon in phase C would be cool. Just to zip around if I need to see something. But they get taken out so quickly. These guys are fun. 4 of them. I could do that. I've got artillery, so I don't really need to. But I could definitely smoke out their I mean, if I could keep them alive by just pasting any flak that comes in, that would be fun. So, totally right. So, alright, we'll see how that goes about. I don't have any more duplications. I used to have so many duplications, like 3 Nashorns veteran and veteran 2 and then 3. You just saw. It's just so addictive to just, I want all veterancy, blah, 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 and then, kind of crippling myself elsewhere. But, well, whatever. Noob, right? So, 11th C. And make that. And I gotta go bed. Gotta go to work. But, yeah. That will be interesting to test out. For sure. And making sure I got points. I spent all my points in each phase. Yeah, Anyways, thanks for watching. And yeah.